Good morning, Year 7s. Welcome to our first lesson together. It's going to be a little bit difficult. It's probably going to take a while for everyone to get used to what we're doing and get sorted, but we're just going to have to go with it for now, okay? It's going to be a bit difficult for everyone, and I understand that, but we just need to try our best and get it going as best we possibly can, okay? I'll go through some more details at the end of this video, but I just want to get through this first part of chapter 6. We're beginning chapter 6. We're not going on with what we did at the end of term 1. We're starting a new chapter today for this term. That new chapter is chapter 6. We're looking at, today we're looking at lines, rays, and segments. Okay, so we're moving away from our number stuff and we're looking a little bit more into shapes. So we're starting our shapes. Okay, so just a reminder, this is 6A. Of your textbook, and we're starting that today. We're going to jump straight in. So we're looking at lines, rays, and segments this morning. We'll go to the next page. Here are some key ideas. Okay, I'll read through them and I'll just highlight which ones I want you guys to get in your notes as well, but I'll just read through them first for now. Okay, so when two lines meet, they form an angle. All right. Get that one in. They form an angle. So what I want you to do is I want you to copy these in and obviously draw the example as well. Lines that form a right angle are perpendicular. Small box where the lines meet is the symbol for a right angle. Okay, so if you've got two lines that are meeting like this and there's a square in the corner, that means it is a right angle. Okay, so that's like anything in a square or a rectangle, all those corners are right angles because they're square corners and they should have this little square in there. A right angle is 90 degrees as well, okay? This part, lines that form a right angle are perpendicular. Lines that never meet are parallel, okay? So when you think of parallel lines, what I like to always think about is think of train tracks, okay? Train tracks never meet, they always run exactly like this. So parallel lines here, there's an example of what parallel lines are. Train tracks will never meet. They keep going straight. They're always the same distance apart and they never cross over, okay? When we're drawing parallel lines, this is important here. Indicate that two lines are parallel, mark each line with matching arrowheads. So can you see here that these parallel lines have matching arrowheads? That's how you know that those lines are parallel. Okay, if you've got more than one set of parallel lines, you're going to have to add more than one arrow depending on the pair that you have. A point is often shown as a dot. Points have no length or width. Okay, so that's just a single point in space basically. So anywhere that it needs to be is just a single dot. All right, a point is often shown as a dot, just like this one here. A line between 2 points is called a segment. Okay, so you've got 1 point here and 1 point here. The segment is the line that joins the two. All right, a line between 2 points is called a segment. And then finally, a line that starts at a point and continues forever is called a ray. So the difference between a segment and a ray is that a segment is point, so point here, point here and point here. Whereas a ray starts at a point, but it keeps going forever. So see how this here is an arrow and not a point? That's how you know that it is a ray. Okay, so the difference between the two, a segment is a point to point and a ray is starting at a point and it goes on forever until we stop it. All right, so they are the notes that I wanted to get in from those key ideas. I'll keep going because you can go back to this video and pause it or use your textbook to copy these notes in. The next slide is just a bit of a more visual example and it gives us an explanation of each one. We've gone through that, but I'll quickly go through them again. Okay, so the point is just an exact position in space. All right, so you're not going to need to copy all these in. I just want to quickly go over them. A ray is the line that has a definite starting point but continues in one direction. So like we've got here, starting point is a point, but it doesn't finish at another point, so it continues indefinitely. Whereas a segment is point to point. Okay, starts at a point, finishes at a point. It connects the two together. Part of a line that has a definite beginning and end. Parallel lines are two lines that are the same distance apart over the entire length, so they never cross over. Again, if you're thinking of parallel lines, the easiest thing to think of is train tracks, because train tracks never cross over. Right? If they did cross over, the train wouldn't work. So they always stay the same distance apart over their entire length. Perpendicular lines are straight lines that meet at a 90-degree angle. How do we know it's 90 degrees? This little square in here. Okay, so it's basically forming square corners. That's what perpendicular lines are. Lines that meet at a 90-degree angle. An angle is a shape formed by two lines or rays that meet at a point. All right, so this in here is where our angle is. It is not a perpendicular line because our lines aren't at 90 degrees. Okay, so it's less than or more than 90 degrees, and it's a shape formed by two lines or rays that meet at a point. So that is the difference between an angle. That's what an angle is. Circle, it's pretty self-explanatory. You guys know what a circle is, but it's a line with every point the same distance from the center. Okay, so that's basically saying if we had a point directly in the middle, each distance, so around the whole thing, is the exact same distance. Okay, you have to excuse my poor drawing, but that's what a circle is. All right, a line with every point the same distance from the center. And then finally, our right angle, which is what we covered already. Right angle is an angle that is 90 degrees, and you can tell because it's got this little square in the middle. Okay, so that means this here is a square corner of 90 degrees. All right. So again, you don't really have to copy all these notes in, but it's just an idea. Just we're going over this quickly to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about, because we're going to be using this language a lot for this chapter. Okay. Again, you can revisit this video as much as you want to get an idea of what exactly we are doing. Moving on, what are perpendicular lines and parallel lines? Okay, we've covered it. We'll go over it quickly again. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet at right angles. So although it doesn't have it drawn in here, these are perpendicular because each one of these corners is a right angle. So I'll draw those squares in as best I can. They're all right angles. So they're all perpendicular lines. Okay. And then parallel lines are always the same distance apart from one another. No matter how far they extend, they will never meet. I'll keep relating back to the train tracks because that is what, that's probably the easiest way to explain it. Something visually that you guys know about. Train tracks, they go the same way, they're the same distance apart the whole time, and they never cross over. Parallel lines are like train tracks, basically. Moving on. Drawing activity. This is what I want you guys to do as part of your lesson today. All right, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to run through exactly what you guys have to do. So in your exercise books, you're going to do this drawing activity here. All right, so you're going to draw two parallel segments. That means you're going to use this information here, so a segment, and they're going to be parallel. Okay, so you're going to follow this page here to help you with this. All right, you're going to be drawing two parallel segments. Draw a segment perpendicular to a ray. Draw three rays that start from the same point. Draw three parallel lines. Draw three parallel lines and a segment that is perpendicular to them. Draw two parallel rays and two more parallel rays that are perpendicular to them. Okay, so all you guys are going to be doing is understanding what it's telling you to draw. Use this information here that we've covered to help you draw them, and that will be your first task. Okay, so you're going to have a couple of different lines and stuff drawn in your exercise book under the heading drawing activity. Okay, once you have done that, we're going to move on to the questions from our textbook. Now that is on page, it is on page 297. Okay, 6A, page 297, and you're going to be doing questions 1, 2, 3, and 5. What I want you to do is once you've done those questions, obviously you need to correct them. Okay, I'm not certain of the correction page, but I'll email that to you after I've done this video so we know exactly what we are doing. But what you need to do is, for this lesson, Copy these notes, summarize these notes so you understand the language we'll be using and what we'll be going on with. Use this as an example to help you with this drawing activity. Okay, you're going to do this drawing activity, then move on to the questions 1, 2, 3, and 5. If you have any questions, I want you to email me, please. We'll also have time together on Microsoft Teams where you can ask questions, and hopefully I can explain it as best as possible for you. For now, though, what I want you to do is copy these notes and do the drawing activity and the questions from your textbook. If you need a hand, shoot me an email and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys, and good luck.